Imagine having the power to, well, converse with artificial intelligence, not just for simple queries, but to give complex, nuanced instructions and get exactly what you want.
Right.
Think of how that's transforming how you work, how you learn, even how you create things.
Yeah, it's not science fiction anymore, is it? It's really happening right now for anyone willing to, learn how to ask the right way.
And that ability to communicate effectively, to truly guide AI, that's the revolutionary skill we're diving into today.
Absolutely. It's reshaping industries and even, our daily routines in some pretty fundamental ways.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge to help you get well informed, fast. And just so you know, this deep dive is brought to you by easymasterai.com.
Our mission today is to unpack this fascinating world of prompt engineering. We're drawing heavily from Davis Coleman's really insightful book, Chatgpt Empowers Your Prompt Engineering with AI Tools.
Yeah, and it includes insights on the newest GPT-4 update, which is crucial.
Definitely. Coleman's guide, it's more than just an intro. It feels like a genuine shortcut to understanding how you can leverage AI, especially ChatGPT.
To streamline processes, boost productivity.
Right, and spark some real innovation. We want to show you how these tools can unlock incredible possibilities for, well, pretty much anyone.
From seasoned engineers building complex systems all the way to everyday users just trying to get more done, maybe be more creative.
Exactly. It all really boils down to understanding how to talk to the machine effectively.
Okay, so let's start right there. What exactly is prompt engineering?
So at its core, it's a concept from natural language processing, NLP. That's all about computers understanding human language, basically.
Okay.
In practice, prompt engineering means finding and crafting the perfect inputs, those specific sentences or phrases that get you the desirable results you want from an AI model.
It's like you're giving really precise directions, maybe to someone who speaks a slightly different language, but once you nail the phrasing.
Precisely. They can do incredible things. The book uses a great analogy, like telling the genie in the magic lamp exactly what to do.
I like that.
Yeah, you're giving the AI clear, concise instructions to achieve a very specific outcome.
Okay, so clear instructions. But what's really interesting, and you mentioned this earlier, is how this capability came about. It wasn't designed.
No, not intentionally. And that's what's truly remarkable. Prompting wasn't some feature AI specialist consciously designed into the systems. Instead, it was an emergent property.
Emergent property, meaning.
Meaning it wasn't a planned invention, it just sort of naturally arose and revealed itself as the underlying AI architecture scaled up, specifically the transformer architecture. And these unsupervised learning methods,
Yeah.
they just got bigger and bigger, especially after 2017.
Right, that's a key point Coleman makes. Before about 2017, most AI relied on supervised learning, where you'd feed it small, very structured data sets, maybe labeled images.
Right, like millions of cat pictures labeled cat.
Exactly. And it would learn to do very narrow, specific tasks based on those labels. But the transformer architecture just flipped that on its head.
It really did. This new architecture allowed models to be pre-trained on absolutely massive unstructured data sets, like huge chunks of the internet, through unsupervised learning.
Without labels.
Without explicit labels for specific tasks, their main goal was simpler. Just predict the next word in a sequence. But by doing this over and over on trillions of words, the AI began to learn this huge variety of patterns, relationships, even subtle heuristics within language itself. And suddenly these models could perform a wide array of tasks they weren't explicitly trained for. It was a complete game changer.
And the truly pivotal moment, according to Coleman, that came with GPT-3.
Yeah, I think so. With GPT-3, these models didn't just learn to predict words. They learned to understand user context directly through natural language instructions. You could just tell them what you wanted.
Just ask a question or give a command.
Exactly. And their output would dramatically change based on that instruction. This is what we now call in-context learning, through prompting. And like we said, it just happened as the models got bigger. It wasn't something anyone specifically engineered for. It just, well, emerged.
That's fascinating. And the applications now, they go way beyond just text, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's exploding. We started with, relatively simple text-to-text models like the early GPT versions or BERT. But now, prompt engineering is the beating heart of these cutting-edge creative tools.
Like the image generator.
Exactly. Text-to-image generators like DALL-E, Midjourney.
Yeah.
You type in a few descriptive words and boom, you get these stunning visuals.
It's incredible.
And it doesn't stop there. We're seeing text-to-video now with systems like Meta's Make a Video, Google's Image and Video, even text-to-3D models like Google's Dream Fusion. Imagine generating entire 3D objects just from a text prompt.
Wow. It really is like magic sometimes. And this ties into something called zero-shot learning, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Zero-shot learning is this idea that AI models like CLIP or GPT-2, GPT-3, and now GPT-4 can actually perform tasks they were never explicitly trained for.
How does that work? Like, give me an example.
Okay, think of it like this. Imagine you train a model only to recognize apples and oranges. You show it thousands of pictures of apples, thousands of oranges.
Okay.
With zero-shot learning, you could then show it a picture of a banana, something it's never seen in training.
Right.
And it would still be able to identify it, maybe as a piece of fruit, or potentially even classify it correctly as a banana. Because it hasn't just memorized pictures, it's developed a deeper understanding of concepts like fruit, color, shape.
It learns the underlying properties.
Exactly. It generalizes.
Okay, let's make that even more practical. The book is an example, right, about food delivery.
Yeah, it's a good one. Imagine you're launching a new online food delivery platform. You've got tens of thousands of beautiful vegetable images, but no labels, no metadata.
Okay.
Pretty much. Manually sorting them or building a traditional image classifier would be a huge, expensive project. Prompt engineering changes this completely. You can simply ask the model, show a picture containing potatoes. The AI understands the context, the meaning of potatoes, and surfaces the relevant images.
Just like that?
Just like that. But the phrasing matters. That's key. Asking for a picture containing potatoes might give you slightly different results than asking for a photograph of potatoes. The AI picks up on those nuances.
So the precision of the prompt is really important.
Crucial.
So what does this all mean for us? This ability to, as Coleman puts it, get more with a whole lot less, to achieve complex tasks with just simple language. What's the impact?
What's rapidly transforming entire industries. It's breaking down barriers to entry for people who aren't traditional programmers or data scientists. Suddenly, you don't need years of coding experience to build something complex.
You can iterate faster, maybe, get products to market quicker?
Absolutely. You can test ideas, build prototypes, disrupt existing ways of doing things much more easily. Coleman suggests industries that seemed kind of rigid, like healthcare or education, could be fundamentally reshuffled in maybe a decade or less.
Wow.
All thanks to the accessibility of AI through prompt engineering.
Okay, so we've got the basics of prompt engineering. Now let's zoom in on the tool everyone's talking about, Chatgpt. What exactly is it under the hood?
Right. So Chatgpt is this really powerful tool that combines the, let's say, raw generative power of the GPT-3 model with something called InstructGPT.
InstructGPT, what does that add?
That component is really crucial. It was specifically fine-tuned using a process called reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF, you might hear it called.
Okay, human feedback, how does that work?
It means real people, actual humans, looked at the AI's responses and literally rated them like thumbs up, thumbs down. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it helpful? Truthful? Harmless?
So they trained it to be more than just grammatically correct.
Exactly. They trained it to align better with human values and intentions. So its core function is to generate that human-like text based on your prompts, but understanding both the context and your underlying intent and trying to be helpful and safe about it.
And the versatility is just stunning. You can use ChatGPT for almost anything, it feels like.
It really does. Need answers on a complex topic. It can summarize huge amounts of information. Need a job description.
Yep, done that.
Tell it the parameters, it'll draft one. The book even gives this pretty compelling example of generating a whole stock trading web application.
Seriously? Code.
Yeah, from a simple but well-structured prompt. It shows just how powerful it can be for code generation too.
And this skill, prompt engineering, it's actually becoming a career path now.
A high-demand one. It's fascinating to see this new role just emerge out of nowhere, practically. And here's a fact that might surprise you. The book mentions salary ranges.
Oh, yeah.
A prompt engineer's salary can apparently range anywhere from like $150,000 up to $300,000 per year.
Wow. Okay, that's significant. It definitely raises the question, though, is it really just about writing a few clever lines? Or is there a deeper skill set involved here that people should know about beyond just typing into a chat box?
That's a great question. It's definitely more than just typing. It requires a deep understanding of language, logic, and crucially, how these AI models actually interpret instructions. It requires critical thinking to anticipate what the AI needs, what context it's missing to generate the best possible output. It's about structuring the prompt, providing examples sometimes, setting constraints.
Right.
Let's walk through a real-world application from the book to make it clearer. Customer service.
Okay.
Imagine you're a customer service manager for, say, an electronics company. A client contacts you wanting a refund for a TV they bought. You want your AI system to handle the initial contact, maybe generate a helpful, polite, accurate response.
Okay, so instead of your human agents crafting every single reply from scratch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You design a prompt that sets the stage for the AI, provides the context it needs.
How would that look?
Well, a well-crafted prompt might look something like this. And Coleman gives an example.
Yeah.
This is a conversation between a client and client care specialist who is useful and courteous.
Right.
So you set the tone.
Right. Setting of the persona.
Then you give the input.
Mm-hmm.
The client's inquiry. I might want to have a fair amount of money returned for the TV bought. Is this conceivable? And then you even start the desired output. Reaction by the client care specialist. Hi, we value you contacting us. Indeed.
Ah, so you're giving it the context, the input, and a template for the output.
Precisely. By giving the AI this clear structure, the desired tone, maybe even some keywords, you're guiding its response much more effectively.
And based on a prompt like that, the AI could generate multiple, plausible, appropriate completions.
Exactly. It might say, yes, we can accept returns if the TV is unused, unopened, and not harmed. Or maybe, yes, we are happy to process a refund. To do so, we require the TV to be returned to your closest store.
Got it.
This simple, structured approach shows how you can get accurate, context-appropriate responses consistently. It saves a ton of time and can really improve the overall customer experience.
Okay, so that example really highlights the power. What are the key features within ChatGPT that make it so good for this?
Well, first off, it uses really advanced natural language processing, NLP. This means it can analyze your prompts, extract the core meaning, and truly understand the context and intent behind your words.
It's not just matching keywords.
No, it's comprehending, or at least simulating comprehension incredibly well. And crucially, it has contextual awareness.
Meaning it remembers the conversation.
Yes, it considers the entire conversation history, not just your last message.
Yeah.
So if you're asking follow-up questions, refining your request, it remembers the thread, which is huge.
That makes sense.
It can even perform sentiment analysis. It tries to gauge the mood, yours or the simulated user's, and can subtly adapt its tone. If you sound frustrated, it might offer a more empathetic response. And beyond understanding, its language generation capabilities are just top tier. It creates grammatically correct, coherent, highly relevant responses that often feel remarkably human.
Yeah, sometimes eerily so.
Right. And for global applications, which is important for many businesses, it offers impressive multilingual support. It can generate responses in a whole range of languages, learning the subtle nuances of each. That's a massive benefit.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned ChatGPT, but it's not the only game in town, right? The book talks about a whole ecosystem of tools.
Oh, yeah, it's much bigger than just ChatGPT. That's sort of the flagship, maybe.
Yeah.
But Coleman highlights other powerful large language models, LLMs, like the newest GPT-4, which is even more capable in many ways, and tools like Copilot, which many programmers are using now.
That have Copilot, yeah.
But it's not just about these foundation models. There's a whole host of supplementary tools and frameworks topping up, designed specifically to enhance prompt engineering.
Right, tools to help you build prompts or manage them.
Exactly. It's fascinating how quickly this ecosystem is developing. For instance, you have tools like LangChain. LangChain isn't just for writing single prompts. It lets you chain multiple AI prompts and actions together into workflows.
Okay, like what?
Imagine a workflow where you first ask an AI to summarize a long report. Then you have another step that extracts all the key action items from that summary. And then a third step drafts an email to your team based on those action items.
Wow, okay. Fully automated.
All in one automated multi-step flow triggered by an initial prompt. Or consider a tool like Promptify that helps you structure and manage large libraries of prompts, making it easier to reuse and optimize them for different tasks or models.
And the book mentions a bunch of others too, right? Like Dust.tt, Open Prompt, Better Prompt.
Yeah, Prompt Engine, Textbox 2.0, Thought Source.
Yeah.
The list keeps growing. Each offers slightly different capabilities. Some help run multiple completions in parallel so you can compare results. Others help review performance metrics. Some allow deep integration with custom scripting or APIs for really complex applications.
So it's becoming a whole professional toolkit.
Absolutely. And all of this is underpinned by more fundamental technologies. Things like NLP libraries, Spacey, NLTK, text pre-processing tools, word embeddings like Word2Vec and Glove that help models grasp word relationships, even knowledge graphs for richer context. It's a whole stack.
So with all these tools and techniques, what are the big benefits companies are actually seeing?
Well, the transformative benefits are becoming incredibly clear. First off, just improved accuracy and reliability. When you carefully select and craft your inputs, your prompts, you help the AI learn the precise patterns and relationships you care about. That leads to far better, more consistent performance,
Okay, better results.
which directly translates to increased efficiency and productivity. You're automating routine tasks, streamlining complex operations, maybe even drastically reducing certain kinds of human error.
Makes sense. What else?
Enhanced personalization is a big one. You can generate tailored language output to meet incredibly specific client needs or user preferences. That builds stronger trust and loyalty.
Right, making interactions feel more individual.
Businesses can also make better decisions faster. AI allows for rapid analysis and data-driven insights that might have taken weeks before. And crucially, these models offer incredible scalability and continuous learning.
Scalability meaning they can handle huge volumes.
Exactly. Huge volumes of requests. And with ongoing feedback and new data, they improve over time. They get smarter, more effective, the more they're used correctly.
Are there concrete examples, like companies really using this successfully?
Oh yeah, plenty. Coleman highlights a few great ones. Take KFC, for example.
KFC, really?
Yeah, they deployed a GPT-3-powered chatbot that apparently handled up to 20,000 customer conversations daily. Think about how much that reduced their customer service workload, freed up human agents for the really complex issues.
Wow, 20,000 a day. Okay.
And Unilever, the giant consumer goods company, they developed something called Copy.ai using GPT-3. This tool generates diverse ad copy, social media posts. It saves their marketers countless hours and lets them test way more variations, boosting campaign effectiveness.
That makes perfect sense for marketing.
Algolia, their search tech company, they created Algolia Replies using GPT-3 for their search-based chatbots. It allows for these really conversational search experiences much better than just basic keyword matching.
More like asking a person.
Exactly. And even OpenAI itself, the creators of Chatgpt, they use their own models internally for tons of applications, chatbots, text completion. And they offer the GPT-3 playground for developers to experiment and build.
So, okay, the potential is huge, the tools are there. What are the best practices if you actually want to integrate this, say, into your business, or maybe even just your own workflow?
Right, good question. First, and maybe most importantly, Coleman stresses. Define clear use cases and specific goals. What exactly do you want the AI to achieve? Don't just jump in blindly.
Be specific about the problem we're solving.
Precisely. Then choose the right AI tool for that specific project. As we discussed, there's a whole ecosystem out there. Different tools have different strengths. And then you really need to develop a robust training strategy. This isn't always necessary if you're just using base ChatGPT, but for custom applications, it might involve selecting the right data, maybe fine-tuning the model for your specific needs.
And you can't just set it and forget it.
Definitely not. It's vital to continuously monitor its performance. How is it doing? Are the outputs accurate? Are they helpful? And make adjustments based on those results.
And ethics have to be part of this too.
Absolutely critical. Coleman emphasizes considering the ethical implications. Handle client data responsibly. Ensure the model is fair, that it doesn't propagate harmful stereotypes or biases, which they can easily do if not guided properly.
That's a huge responsibility.
It is. It's about generating reliable, ethical, and value-aligned outputs. And then practically integrate the AI with your existing system smoothly and provide proper training and support for the people who will actually use it, the end users. And like you said, regularly update and improve the system. It's an ongoing process.
Okay, so we've talked business, we've talked tools, but this isn't just for work, is it? The implications feel broader. How might prompt engineering seep into our daily lives?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's already starting. Think about personal productivity. You could use carefully crafted prompts to, say, set reminders for your daily tasks in a more conversational way, or guide you through a consistent morning or evening routine.
Like a personalized coach?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Or even help reduce decision fatigue. You know, help me pick a healthy lunch based on what's in my fridge, that kind of thing.
Interesting. What about health?
Yeah, health and wellness.
Yeah.
Prompts could assist in tracking diet and exercise more naturally, maybe offer guidance for stress management, or lead you through mindfulness exercises tailored to how you're feeling right then.
And education, I can see huge potential there.
Huge. Personalized learning plans based on your strengths and weaknesses. Guided study sessions for tricky subjects. Even help preparing for tests more effectively by generating practice questions or explanations.
The potential really seems vast. But what about the future of work itself? How does this change things, especially for creative or technical roles?
That's perhaps the most profound area of transformation. AI is poised to reshape creative work fundamentally. Coleman mentions OpenAI's Codex, for example.
The coding AI.
Right. It can translate natural language commands, just plain English descriptions, directly into programming code. Think about that. Non-coders could potentially just describe the software they want, rather than having to write lines and lines of code.
That could democratize software creation massively.
Exactly. And we're already seeing this in action with tools like GitHub's Copilot. It acts like an AI pair programmer, auto-completing code as you type, suggesting entire functions. It's making developers significantly more efficient, but also changing how they work.
And all those low-code and no-code tools that are popping up.
They're powered by increasingly sophisticated prompting underneath. This makes AI accessible to an even broader audience, moving it way beyond just specialized developers.
So the takeaway is?
The takeaway is that effectively designing prompts, understanding how to communicate your intent to these powerful models, is going to become an increasingly important, maybe even a fundamental role for many, many people in the workforce. It's not just for prompt engineers anymore.
It's becoming a core skill.
I think so. And as Coleman emphasizes, this skill, prompt engineering, it's also vital for guiding these language models towards generating outputs that are reliable, ethical, and aligned with our values.
Steering the AI in the right direction.
Exactly. It's about building a trusting relationship,
Yeah.
a trusting social association, as he puts it, with artificial intelligence, where we can actually depend on its assistance without unintended negative consequences, ensuring fairness, accountability, transparency. That all comes back to how we guide it through prompts.
Okay, but there's a big caveat here, right? We need to be careful.
Hugely important caveat, yes. The book makes this very clear. Chatgpt and models like it are probabilistic, not deterministic, meaning their responses can vary. They don't always give the exact same answer to the exact same prompt. There's an element of randomness, creativity, but also potential inaccuracy.
So you can't just blindly trust everything it says.
Absolutely not. You should always, always verify the accuracy of the information it provides, especially for critical tasks, for anything important. Double-check its facts, its reasoning.
So it's a tool to enhance thinking, not replace it.
Precisely. It's best used to enhance human thinking, automate tedious work, brainstorm ideas, but not to replace critical thought or final human judgment. It's a powerful co-pilot, like you said earlier, not an autonomous driver you just hand the keys over to.
That's a really crucial distinction.
And Davis Coleman, the author, he dedicates this book really to aspiring prompt engineers or anyone wanting to use these tools. He offers this comprehensive guide, hoping to provide inspiration, motivation, and practical guidance for finding profitable business ideas, pursuing engineering dreams, or just leveraging AI effectively in daily life.
Okay, so to wrap things up then, we've taken a deep dive into this really fascinating world of prompt engineering powered by ChatGPT and this whole growing ecosystem of AI tools. And this book, ChatGPT Empowers Your Prompt Engineering, it really highlights how mastering this essential skill lets you communicate effectively with AI.
Yeah, leading to these incredible gains in efficiency, enhanced personalization, and genuinely innovative outcomes across, well, pretty much every field imaginable now.
It feels like as AI models continue to evolve and they get more and more intertwined with our daily lives, with our work, mastering prompt engineering isn't just some niche technical skill anymore.
No, it's really fast becoming a fundamental literacy, isn't it? Like reading or writing was in the past. It's a literacy for the 21st century.
So here's a thought to leave you with. What problem in your life or in your work could a well-crafted prompt help you solve, maybe even starting today?
Good question to ponder.
And if you want to learn more about AI, explore practical tools, and even discover how you can leverage these cutting-edge technologies to potentially make money with AI, be sure to visit easymasterai.com.
That's easymasterai.com. Lots of resources there.